Airport security footage would later show the exact second Ebel Kingsley's world ended, the moment Korea's most ruthless crime lord stopped mid-stride, stared at the little girl clutching her hand, and smiled like a predator who just found what he'd been hunting. She had seconds to decide, run and confirm his suspicions, or stay and watch him destroy everything she'd sacrificed to protect. Welcome to Afro Soul Stories. Please like, share and subscribe. Minho's hand rises, stopping his men mid-stride. They freeze, questions in their eyes, but he doesn't explain. Can't. His entire focus narrows to the woman 20 meters away, the one who disappeared from his penthouse in the middle of the night, leaving only a note that said she couldn't love a man drenched in blood. He'd searched for her. Turned over every stone in Seoul, then every city she might have run to. Nothing. Like she'd become a ghost. And now she's here, solid and real, wearing jeans that hug her curves and a simple white blouse, her natural hair pulled back in a low puff, and there's a child. His child. He knows it the way he knows his own heartbeat. She turns toward the exit, adjusting the little girl on her hip, and that's when their eyes meet across the terminal. Ebel goes completely still. The color drains from her face. The toddler babbles something in what sounds like a mix of English and Korean, tiny hands patting her mother's cheeks, but Ebel doesn't move, doesn't breathe. Minho starts walking. His men follow at a distance, trained to read his moods, and right now his mood is a live wire. Every step closes the gap between them. Ebel's lips part like she wants to run, but her feet stay planted. Good. Running won't help her this time. He stops an arm's length away. Up close, he can see she's exactly as he remembers and completely different. There are faint shadows under her eyes, a thinness to her face that wasn't there before, but she's still the most beautiful thing he's ever seen. The little girl stares at him with round, curious eyes, the same dark brown as his own. She can't be more than 2. Which means Ebel was pregnant when she left. The realization hits him like a fist to the throat. Minho, Ebel whispers, and her voice shakes. Ebel. His voice comes out rough. And who is this? The toddler grins at him, all dimples and baby teeth. Ebel's arms tighten around her. Her name is Hannah. Hannah. It means one, or flower, depending on how it's written. His mother's name was Hannah. He'd told Ebel that once, late at night when the world felt small enough to share secrets in. She named their daughter after his mother. The fury and longing twisting in his chest almost bring him to his knees. How old? 22 months. He does the math instantly. Ebel left 2 years ago. Which means she was 2 months pregnant when she walked out. She knew. She knew and she still left, still took his child and vanished into nothing. You were pregnant. It's not a question. Ebel's chin lifts, defiant even as her hands tremble. Yes. And you didn't tell me. You would have locked me in that penthouse and called it protection. She's not wrong. He would have. He would have wrapped her in bulletproof glass and kept her there until she gave birth, until he was sure nothing in his world could touch her. You had no right to keep her from me. You had no right to make me love a man who kills people. Her voice breaks on the last word. Hannah's head swivels between them, picking up on the tension, her lower lip starting to tremble. Ebel immediately softens, bouncing the little girl gently, murmuring soothing words. The shift from confrontation to maternal tenderness is so swift it leaves him reeling. Minho's jaw clenches. They're drawing attention. A few travelers slow down, pretending not to stare. His men shift closer, creating a loose perimeter. He can't do this here. Won't. We need to talk. Not here. There's nothing to talk about. I'm just passing through. We're flying out tonight. To where? She hesitates. That's none of your business. The hell it isn't. He steps closer, lowering his voice to something that won't carry. That's my daughter. You don't know that. Yes, I do. He looks at Hannah, really looks, and sees himself reflected back. The shape of her eyes, the stubborn set of her mouth, even the way her brows draw together when she's concentrating, just like she's doing now as she reaches for the silver chain around his neck. He catches her tiny hand in his, and she giggles. His heart does something painful. I know. Ebel's eyes shine with unshed tears. Minho, please. Just let us go. Never. The word is absolute. Final. He spent 2 years in a special kind of hell, wondering if she was alive, if she thought about him, if she regretted leaving. Now he knows she was alive, raising his daughter alone, and the regret in her eyes tells him she thought about him too. You're coming with me. I'm not going anywhere with you. Then I'll follow you onto whatever plane you're boarding and sit beside you for the entire flight. Your choice. Her breath hitches. She knows he means it. Knows that once Kang Minho decides something, the universe bends to make it happen. That's who he is. That's what he does. One conversation. That's all you get. Fine. He gestures toward the VIP lounge. Private. Secure. No prying eyes. Ebel hesitates, glancing at the departure board like she's calculating whether she has time. Her flight doesn't leave for another 3 hours. She must realize he already knows this, because her shoulders sag in defeat. 1 hour, she says. 1 hour, he agrees, lying through his teeth. She's not getting on that plane. Not tonight. Not ever. They walk through the terminal in tense silence, Hannah babbling happily between them, oblivious to the storm brewing. Minho's men clear a path, their presence enough to make people step aside without question. Inside the VIP lounge, Minho dismisses everyone with a sharp gesture. The staff vanishes. His security takes up positions outside. It's just the 3 of them now. Ebel sets Hannah down on the plush carpet, pulling a small bag of toys from her carry-on. The toddler immediately dumps them out, delighted, and starts stacking colorful blocks. Minho watches, transfixed. He's missed nearly 2 years of her life. First words. First steps. Every milestone, gone. Stolen. Why didn't you tell me? His voice is raw. Ebel sinks into a chair, exhaustion written across her face. Because I couldn't do it, Minho. I couldn't raise a child in your world. Every day wondering if someone would come for us. Every night listening for gunshots. I loved you so much it was killing me, and I couldn't bring a baby into that. So you just left. I had to. You didn't have to do anything. He crouches in front of her, forcing her to meet his eyes. You chose to. You chose to run instead of fighting for us. There was no us to fight for. You were married to your empire, and I was just the woman warming your bed. The accusation lands like a slap. That's what you think you were to me. What else was I supposed to think? You never talked about a future. Never said you loved me. You just kept me close and expected me to accept the blood on your hands without question. He rocks back on his heels, stung. She's right. He never said the words. Never made promises beyond the night in front of them. In his world, promises are liabilities, and love is a weakness enemy's exploit. But he felt it. God, he felt it every time he looked at her, every time she smiled at him like he was more than the monster everyone feared. I loved you, he says, and the words feel like pulling shrapnel from a wound. I loved you so much I couldn't think straight. Do you know how many people I've killed to keep you safe? Her eyes widen. What? 3 attempts on your life in the 8 months we were together. You never knew because I made sure you never had to. Every threat, eliminated. Every enemy who even looked at you wrong, gone. I burned entire organizations to the ground to keep you breathing. His hands curl into fists. And you think you were just warming my bed? Ebel stares at him, lips parted in shock. Hannah toddles over, shoving a block into Minho's hand, demanding he add it to her tower. He takes it automatically, his gaze never leaving Ebel's face. You never told me, she whispers. I couldn't. Telling you would have made you a target in a different way. If my enemies knew how much you mattered, they would have tried harder. So I kept you in the dark and hated myself for it. Then why didn't you let me go when I said I couldn't do it anymore? Because letting you go would have been letting you die. He places the block carefully on Hannah's tower, and she claps, delighted. Without my protection, you were vulnerable. I had men watching you even after you left. Tracking you. Making sure no one from my past came for you. The color drains from her face. You've been watching me this whole time. Not watching. Protecting. There's a difference. That's not protection, Minho. That's control. Call it whatever you want. You're alive. Hannah's alive. That's all that matters. He stands, pacing to the window overlooking the tarmac. Planes take off and land in perfect choreography, people coming and going, lives intersecting and splitting apart. His own life split the night Ebel left. He's been half a person ever since. Where were you going tonight? She doesn't answer immediately. When she does, her voice is small. London. I got a job there. Teaching position at a university. Teaching what? African literature and cultural studies. Of course. She has a PhD, earned before they met, back when she was a bright-eyed academic who believed the world was full of beauty worth studying. He wonders if she still believes that after everything. Cancel it. I can't just cancel it. I signed a contract. I'll buy out your contract. I'll buy the entire university if I have to. He turns to face her, and the intensity in his eyes makes her breath catch. You're not leaving. Not again. You can't just decide that. Watch me. Hannah makes a frustrated noise as her block tower collapses. She looks up at Minho, eyes welling with tears, and his heart cracks wide open. He kneels beside her, helping her rebuild, stacking blocks with steady hands that have ended lives and now cradle his daughter's fragile creations. Like this, JJ, he murmurs, using the endearment without thinking. Sweetheart. Hannah watches him with absolute trust, and something fundamental shifts in his chest. Ebel's voice is thick when she speaks. She doesn't know you. Then I'll get to know her. And she'll get to know me. As what? The terrifying Mafia boss who kills people. He looks up sharply. As her father. The word hangs between them, heavy with implication. Ebel's eyes fill with tears. You can't just walk back into our lives and demand a place, Minho. It doesn't work like that. Why not? Because you'll break her heart the same way you broke mine. The accusation stops him cold. He sets the block down carefully, standing to face her fully. I never wanted to break your heart. I wanted to keep it safe. Well, you failed. The tears spill over now, tracking down her cheeks. Do you know what it was like, loving you? Every day wondering if you'd come home. Every phone call thinking it might be someone telling me you were dead. I couldn't sleep. Couldn't eat. And then I found out I was pregnant, and I realized I couldn't bring a child into that nightmare. So you ran. So I survived. She wipes at her face angrily. I did what I had to do to protect our daughter. Our daughter. He repeats the words, tasting them. Say it again. What? Say she's our daughter. Say it. Ebel's breath shudders. She's our daughter. The admission breaks something loose in both of them. Minho crosses the space between them in 2 strides, pulling Ebel to her feet. She gasps, hands coming up to his chest, but she doesn't push him away. I'm sorry, he says, and the words cost him everything. I'm sorry I made you feel unsafe. I'm sorry I didn't say I loved you when I had the chance. I'm sorry I was too much of a coward to ask you to stay properly. Minho. I'm not letting you go again. I can't. These 2 years have been hell, Ebel. Every day without you felt like dying slowly. And now I find out I have a daughter, and you think I'm just going to let you disappear again? He cups her face, thumbs brushing away tears. I'll change. I'll leave the business, burn it all down if that's what it takes. Her eyes search his. You can't just leave. People don't leave your world alive. Then I'll find a way. For you. For her. He glances at Hannah, still happily playing with blocks, completely unaware that her existence is rewriting her father's entire universe. I'll find a way. Ebel's resistance crumbles. She sags against him, and he catches her, holding her like she might vanish if he loosens his grip even slightly. I can't do this again, she whispers against his chest. I can't love you and lose you. You won't lose me. You don't know that. I know I'll fight like hell to stay alive for you. For both of you. He tilts her chin up, forcing her to look at him. Give me a chance. Let me prove I can be the man you need. And if you can't, then you can leave, and I won't stop you. The lie tastes bitter. He'd never let her leave. Never. But he needs her to believe it, needs her to lower her guard long enough for him to prove he's serious. She studies his face for a long moment, searching for truth in his eyes. Whatever she sees there makes her breath hitch. Okay. Okay. 1 month. You have 1 month to figure out how to leave your world without getting us all killed. If you can do that, we'll talk about what comes next. 1 month. 30 days to dismantle an empire he spent a decade building. It should be impossible. Probably is. But for her, for their daughter, he'll make it happen. Deal. She nods, exhausted, and pulls away from him. Hannah looks up, sensing the shift in mood, and reaches for Ebel. Minho watches as Ebel scoops up their daughter, settling her on one hip with practiced ease. The sight of them together does something to him. Makes him want things he's never wanted before. A home. A family. A life that doesn't end in blood. Where are you staying? He asks. I was supposed to stay at a hotel near the airport tonight, then fly out in the morning. Cancel it. Stay with me. Her eyes narrow. Minho. Not the penthouse. I have a house outside the city. Private. Secure. Hannah will have space to play, and we can talk without interruptions. He pulls out his phone, already texting his staff to prepare the property. Please. She wavers. He can see her weighing options, calculating risks. Finally, she nods. Fine. But separate rooms. Separate rooms, he agrees, knowing full well that proximity alone will be enough. Having her under his roof again, even in a different room, will be a kind of torture and salvation all at once. They leave the VIP lounge together, Hannah now perched on Minho's hip, chattering at him in her mixed language babble. He listens like she's reciting poetry, responding in soft Korean that makes her giggle. Ebel watches them with an expression he can't quite read. Fear, maybe. Or hope. Possibly both. The drive to his house takes 40 minutes, Hannah falling asleep in the car seat. Minho's men produce from nowhere. Efficiency is their religion. Ebel sits in tense silence, staring out the window as the city gives way to countryside. The house, when they arrive, is nothing like the penthouse she remembers. It's traditional Korean architecture updated with modern security, surrounded by gardens and high walls. Beautiful and impenetrable. You own this? She asks as they pull through the gates. I do now. Bought it a year ago. Haven't spent a single night here. He doesn't say that he bought it thinking of her, imagining a life where she might come back and need somewhere safe. Somewhere that didn't smell like violence and power plays. Inside, the staff has prepared everything. Hannah's room is already set up with a crib, toys, everything a toddler could need. Ebel's room is next door, spacious and comfortable, with an ensuite bathroom and a view of the garden. Minho's room is on the opposite side of the house. Distance. Space. All the things she asked for. After settling Hannah in her crib, Ebel finds him in the kitchen, staring at a cup of coffee he hasn't touched. Thank you, she says quietly. For this. For not pushing. He looks up, and the exhaustion in his eyes mirrors hers. I meant what I said. I'll find a way out. And if you can't, then I'll die trying. It's not dramatic. Just fact. He's built his empire on ruthlessness, but he's learned that the most ruthless thing he can do is tear it all down for the people he loves. She crosses the kitchen, standing close enough that he can smell the faint scent of her perfume, something warm and sweet that he's never forgotten. I don't want you to die, Min-ho. I just want you to choose us. I already have. He reaches out, tucking a curl behind her ear. She doesn't pull away. Every choice I've made since you left has been about getting you back. I just didn't know how. Her eyes shimmer. This is insane. I know. We might not survive this. We will. He says it with absolute certainty, the same tone he uses when ordering men into battle. Failure isn't an option. It never has been. She searches his face, then nods slowly. Okay. 1 month. 1 month, he echoes. She turns to leave, pausing at the doorway. Min-ho. For what it's worth, I never stopped loving you. I just stopped believing we could work. The confession hits him square in the chest. Before he can respond, she's gone, footsteps fading down the hallway. He stands alone in the kitchen, coffee going cold, and allows himself to feel hope for the first time in 2 years. It's fragile and terrifying, but it's there. And Kang Min-ho has built an empire on turning fragile things into unbreakable ones. The next morning, he wakes to the sound of laughter. Following it, he finds Ebel and Hannah in the garden, Hannah chasing butterflies while Ebel watches with a smile that makes his heart stutter. He joins them quietly, and Hannah shrieks with delight when she sees him, running over on unsteady legs. He catches her, swinging her up into the air, and her laughter is the sweetest sound he's ever heard. Ebel watches them, expression soft. She likes you. I like her too. He settles Hannah on his shoulders, and she grabs fistfuls of his hair, steering him like a horse. She's perfect. She is. Ebel's smile fades slightly. Min-ho, about what you said last night. I meant it. All of it. I know. That's what scares me. She wraps her arms around herself. What if you can't get out? What if trying gets you killed? Then at least I tried. At least I chose you. He lifts Hannah off his shoulders, setting her down to chase more butterflies. I've spent my whole life choosing power over people. This time, I'm choosing differently. Power doesn't like being rejected. No. It doesn't. He knows exactly what he's up against. His organization won't let him walk away quietly. There will be blood. Probably his. But he survived this long by being smarter and more vicious than everyone else. Time to use those skills for something that actually matters. The month that follows is a kind of domestic dream threaded through with nightmare logistics. Days are spent with Ebel and Hannah, learning how to be a father, relearning how to be a man Ebel can love. Nights are spent on the phone, in meetings, carefully dismantling the infrastructure that's kept him alive and powerful. He sells off assets, transfers control, makes deals with people who would kill him if they knew what he was really doing. His second-in-command, Jae-sung, confronts him 2 weeks in. You're destroying everything we built. I know. For a woman. For my family. Min-ho meets his eyes steadily. I'm done, Jae. This life, it's over for me. Jae-sung studies him for a long moment. You know they won't let you go. They'll try to stop me. I'll stop them first. And if you can't? Min-ho thinks of Hannah's laughter, of Ebel's smile, of the life he's tasted for the first time. Then I'll die making sure they're safe. Jae-sung nods slowly. Then I'm with you. Whatever you need. The loyalty shouldn't surprise him, but it does. You don't have to do this. You saved my life 3 times. I owe you more than I can repay. If you're getting out, I'll make sure you get out breathing. Jae-sung extends his hand. Min-ho takes it. With Jae-sung's help, the transition goes smoother than expected. But smooth doesn't mean safe. On day 23, someone tries to kill him. A car bomb that Jae-sung spots before Min-ho gets in. They survive. Barely. Ebel finds out when he comes home with blood on his shirt. She goes pale. What happened? Nothing I couldn't handle. That's blood, Minho. That's not nothing. Hannah is already asleep, thank God. He doesn't want her to see this. It's handled. Is it? Or are there more people coming? Her voice rises, panic creeping in. This is exactly what I was afraid of. Ebel. No. Don't Ebel me. You promised you'd find a way out, and you're still in danger. We're still in danger. Tears streak down her face. I can't do this. Yes, you can. He crosses to her, gripping her shoulders gently. I'm almost out. One more week, and I'm done. Completely done. The people who tried this, they're being dealt with. It won't happen again. You can't promise that. I can promise I'll do everything in my power to keep you safe. Both of you. That's all I've got, Ebel. My word and my will. He presses his forehead to hers. Please. Don't give up on me now. She trembles against him, then nods. One more week. One more week. The final week is the longest of his life. Every loose end tied up, every potential threat neutralized. Jae-sung takes over what's left of the organization, transforming it into something legitimate, something that won't paint a target on Minho's back. By day 29, it's done.